Hello and welcome to Somerville Highlander Boys Lacrosse on Somerville Ed TV. Today the Highlanders open out their 2026 season against Northeast Metropolitan as the Knights come in to face off against the Highlanders, and we are underway here from Dilboy Stadium. Hi everybody, I'm Todd Harmon as we bring you this season of Somerville Highlander Boys Lacrosse. As the Highlanders have got that opening possession off of the face-off, you know how important that is in lacrosse as they set up their offense. Younger players on this team, talking to head coach Chuck Graham before this game. He's very excited to get Shane Doe, one of his junior players, number 8, back into the fold. You can see him out on the field there. As the ball taken away at the X position, though, by Northeast, and we're going to have an offsides, or actually an entry into the crease, an illegal entry into the crease area there by Northeast Metro. So the Knights will give up the turnover back to the Highlanders. Just underway here, 12-minute quarters in boys lacrosse. After each score, they will have a face-off at midfield, of course, showing you how important those face-offs are. That's how you earn all of your possessions. 10 players on the field for each team, 9 forwards, 9 mids, or 3 forwards, 3 mids, 3 defenders. The mids can play both in the offensive and defensive ends, and of course, each side has a goalie. In between the pipes for the Knights today, we've got sophomore Evan Kerr, as he had the opportunity right there, but wasn't quite able to clear that away from Pasquale Candelino. Candelino came out of that X position. That's that area right behind the net. A lot of offensive attack comes out of there. As Braden Hart will get the ball now for the Highlanders, brings it here near side to Pasquale Candelino. As Candelino looks to break in, spins, loses the ball, picks it up, looking to grab it from the ground. And he does finally, but then he's pushed down. And the infraction's going to be called against the Knights. Possession will go over to the Highlanders on that push. Highlanders finished the season last year 7-11 out of playoff contention, ranked number 50 in Division II. The Knights come in finishing off last season 5-12. They were ranked number 53 in Division III. Knights 0-2 so far on the season. Looking for their first win here in their third match. That's going to go out of bounds. Highlanders lose possession of that one. Out of bounds rules in lacrosse, off of a shot, whichever team is closest to where the ball went out of bounds, that's who gains the possession. However, in a situation like that, where the Highlanders lost the ball out of bounds, not having shot it, the last person or team that had touched it, they lose that possession of the ball. Now Northeast Metro in, as they are into the attacking zone, setting up their offense. Ball held near side by Shane Moran. As Moran sends that one across the field. Highlanders back in a zone defense here. Work being done there by Ben DiCarlo trying to, or should say, Shane Doe trying to get that ball away. As once again you see the out-of-bounds possession goes over to the Highlanders here. As Damian Jackson will bring this one up. Jackson, one of the juniors on this team, a very junior-heavy team, only 2 seniors, Pasquale Candelino, as well as Zach Gordon back in the goal. As Jackson transitions into the attacking zone, gives it off to Braden Hart. Highlanders now will set up their offense. As you see Shane Doe there with the ball, cradling it in his cross. Looking for a shot. Looks to get around the defender. He's down to the ground. We're going to have a whistle there, flag thrown. Highlanders may end up with a man advantage for at least a minute here. We're going to go 2 minutes on the man advantage here on the tripping call. So the Highlanders will be up a player due to that trip called against number 3, Drew Ferreira. So now the Highlanders will have 6 attackers in the attacking zone. 5 defenders plus the goalie, Evan Kerr. That will be for 2 minutes. I do believe I saw 2 minutes thrown up there. Opportunity right here from the top there by Colin Rosas. Fires that one by Candelino I thought Candelino was close to that one, but it's going to go over to the Knights. Now the Knights look to transition, although they are down a man on the field. Out of bounds on that pass, so the Highlanders will go ahead and get the possession, and Damian Jackson will start the possession. Just under 8 minutes, I should say, remaining here in the first quarter. Scoreless here from Dilboy Stadium. Long pass. Could not go cross to cross. Trying to hook up with Jacob Medrano there. So the Knights will get the possession. Jack Cuddy will get things going here for the Knights. Cuddy feeds it over to Havermel. They get it into the attacking zone. Pass there, run onto, but unable to be controlled. David Serra, number 22, had the opportunity. No defender near him as that ball skipping across the turf. He wasn't quite able to get it into the cross. Penalty over for the Knights. Man advantage over for the Highlanders. As again, that diagonal pass not played cleanly by the Highlanders. They're going to have to look to clean it up here. Has been DiCarlo trying to get that ground ball, and he will. Now DiCarlo spins away from the defender. In terms of the use of the cross, that was, as you saw, DiCarlo losing possession there as he was checked from behind by Malakar Pelzar, number 7. That is how you check in lacrosse. You can knock the other player's cross, their stick, with your stick. Trying to knock the ball out. Misplayed there by Jackson. Now an opportunity for the Knights as they get it to Palazzo. And Pelzar pulls it out. Now they will go ahead and get the attack going. Opportunity right here wide on the shot was Nico Fronduto, as he had it wide open one-on-one against Zach Gordon, but sent that one wide to the far side. Highlanders back in a basically 1-2-3 zone as they work this towards the X position. Coming out of it is Pelzar. Pelzar gets checked there. Nice job by Damian Jackson. So he tries to get that before it gets out of bounds, but is unable to. See the difference in the sizes, lengths of the cross. Offensive players tend to have the shorter crosses, lots more control with their shots and their passes by virtue of that. It's David Serra working with the ball now. Defended tightly there by Colin Rosas. Serra's pass. And now we have a flag against the Highlanders. Rosas is going to get called for it there. We'll see what this call is going to be as the flag is down. As that will necessitate Rosas heading over to the penalty box. Couple minutes on the man advantage now for the Knights. Highlanders now adjusting up with their defense. Right in the middle there, number 8, Shane Doe. Very important in that defensive set. You want to make sure defenders are not settling in front of your goaltender's net. As you see, Knights captain Drew LeBlanc, number 2, in there looking for the pass. Instead, they go wide to the far side. So they work it around, bringing it, coming out of X. Shot right there by number 18, Shane Moran. Blocked very well by Zach Gordon. Tried to pass out of X now. As Ben DiCarlo got the ball for a moment there, but then was checked very hard, trying to transition out of the defensive zone. Flag comes down. And Matthew Hutchinson, it appears, will head over. No, Hutchinson just being sent to the bench. Let's see who that penalty came against. Actually, Highlanders will just get possession here. No man advantage on that push-off. Possession so vitally important. Obviously, you can't score without possession. That's why the face-off circle is so important. Long shot put through there, handled by Evan Kerr. The pass out into the middle area. Working there is Dylan Hovermail as he gets it checked away, that time by Colin Rosas. Saved from out of bounds for a moment by LeBlanc, but it ended up with Rosas. Now LeBlanc, or I should say, strike that. That's Hutchinson taking the ball away from Rosas. As you have the ground ball now. Out of bounds, and we're going to have an offsides as the call, or not offsides, but too much time, I should say. You only have a certain amount of time to get the ball into the attacking zone. So the Highlanders now go on the attack. 4:20 remaining here in the first quarter, tied at zeros. First game here for the Highlanders this season, looking to build on their 7 wins from last year. Nice spin there, opportunity towards the net. And the block there as Candelino got in, but was not able to get it by Evan Kerr. Great job by Kerr on that save. Now some speed coming out by Drew LeBlanc as he's going to get through the neutral zone into the attacking area. Fires that one down. Nice pass by LeBlanc. Great reception by Pelzar, and that's the first goal of the match as Malachi Pelzar in transition gets the pass from Drew LeBlanc, and the Knights lead 1-0. 3:51 remaining here in the first quarter. You can see how important transition is and efficient passing as Pelzar was able to camp out on that far side of the crease, and a really effective pass by LeBlanc was able to hit him, and he puts that one home. Now into the face-off circle. It's Marcos Pineda-Perez for the Highlanders. Face-off so important. Don't want to go down, give up a goal, and not get the possession after that. And good job by Pineda-Perez as he was able to get the possession for the Highlanders, but he can't hold on to it in the cross. As he continues to try to address the ground ball.
Regional goal, number 7, Malachi Pelzar.
And now the Knights have it as Hovermail has it. Brings it down to LeBlanc. LeBlanc breaking into the attacking zone. Drops it here near side to Moran. Moran looking for Pelzar. Couldn't quite get it to him. Good job defensively there by Ben DiCarlo. And then Zach Gordon able to jump onto it in his crease. In terms of the crease rules, Zach Gordon, the goalie, can control the ball, can grab the ball, can handle the ball if he'd like to. Defender, or I should say offensive player, is not allowed into the crease area. That shot, point blank, goes wide, knocked wide by Zach Gordon. As Moran had a great opportunity at that time. Highlanders need to keep an eye on those open opportunities. Foul on the play. As it looks like LeBlanc's going to maybe be sent off. Yes, LeBlanc will be sent off for the slash there, so he will be over for at minimum 1 minute in the penalty box. I did not see, it might have been 2 that he put him in for. 2:52 remaining here in this first quarter, so the Highlanders have the opportunity with the man advantage here towards the end of the quarter, looking for the equalizer. Have not managed a ton of shots on Evan Kerr. Kerr has made one excellent save already, though, on a good attempt by Pasquale Candelino. Rosas will bring this one in. Inside they give it. Shot blocked from Braden Hart. As Jackson Duplessis was able to block that one. Now Hart looking to pick that ball up off the ground, but the Highlanders are going to get called for the hold. As I believe that was Marcos Pineda-Perez who kept the Knight player down on the ground, called for that infraction. Knights get the possession. Still down a man here. So LeBlanc is in the penalty box. Pass comes down to Moran. Moran defended by Joseph Giordano. There's Moran going in against Giordano. Help comes over in the form of Shane Doe. They bring it back to the very top. Top of the slot now over to the far side. Ryan Stringer with it now. Drops that one off to Malachi Pelzar. Pelzar off the screen. Defended tightly there. Damian Jackson has that assignment. Pass goes inside. And that goes out. They're going to say it was, I guess, a shot. Possession stays with the Knights, or the Highlanders did touch it on the pass. So Moran now has it on the far side. Minute and a half remaining. LeBlanc out of the penalty box. Even strength for both teams. Good check there, preventing the shot as Colin Rosas made contact just as David Serra was thinking about taking the shot. Now Damian Jackson with it. Trying to get through. Big bang there from Malachi Pelzar, but continuing to move forward as Braden Hart picks up the ball. Hart breaking in, fires it. And a great save there by Evan Kerr as he's able to make the stop. Hutchinson now surrounded by Highlanders looking to get down the field. Gets it down to Moran. It's Moran. Met by Damian Jackson right there. Whistles all over. 37.4 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and a timeout is called. Flag on the play. Another flag thrown. I don't know what our official saw, but I'm sure he did not like it. So let's see what's going to be the call there. Might have an offsetting situation here. Personal fouls being called. I believe they got Colin Rosas for the Highlanders. I'm not sure what the number was they got for the Knights, but we will check that out and find out as we come back from the timeout. 37.4 seconds remaining during this timeout gives me an opportunity to talk about all the other sports we have going on here on Somerville Ed TV. Don't forget to mash your buttons, like, share, subscribe, get those subscriptions up. We're going for 4,000. We're going to get to 4,000, and you guys are going to help us do it. Exciting things going on here in the spring all over the place in Highlander Nation. Over on the volleyball court, we've got a ranked team. They're ranked number 17 in the state in the Boston Globe statewide rankings as the Highlander boys volleyball team opened out the season with a 5-set victory over at Cambridge. They went into the Falcons' nest and took them down in 5 sets. And then they're coming off of a great victory yesterday, a straight set sweeping of the Red Devils of Chelsea. We'll have coverage of their game against Division I Waltham Weston, as that's a community team between the towns of Waltham and Weston. That will be a matchup coming up on Wednesday, April 1st. No fooling on that, as the team that finished number 31 in Division I last year will come into Broome Fieldhouse to face off against the number 17 ranked Highlanders. Over on the baseball diamond, we've got opening day coming up. The Highlanders opening day currently has been shifted. April 4th, the field not available. We have shifted that over to Wednesday. It is going to be Lynn Classical who will be the opening game, and that will be on Wednesday, April 8th. That will be at Trum Field, dependent upon weather, obviously. Looking at the weather forecast, might have some rain in the forecast, so I don't know. But a Lynn Classical Highlanders matchup, a great baseball matchup, as the Highlanders and Coach O'Donnell trying to get back into the GBL championship after giving it up to Medford last year, as Preston Ardolino, possibly one of, if not the best player in the GBL, will be on the diamond for the Highlanders. He will be on the mound along with Colin Bourne. That's your 1-2 punch on the pitcher's mound for the Highlanders. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, sign up for notifications so you know when we've got live coverage, as well as when we posted things on our YouTube page. As we are back underway, one player from each team in the penalty box. as the Knights have the possession. Good check there. Nice job defensively by Shane Doe as he was able to check that out of the cross. If you're wondering all these lines out there where the out of bounds is, it's the dark blue ones. It's also denoted by orange pylons on the corners there, as well as at midfield. Field itself is 110 yards long, and that will do it for the first quarter of play as the Highlanders trail the Knights of Northeast Metro by the score of 1-0 after the goal by Malakar Pelzar. We will have the second quarter action beginning in just a moment, but I do want to continue talking about all the exciting things going on here in Highlander Nation. We mentioned the volleyball team and how they are ranked. We mentioned the baseball team and how they are looking to get back into championship contention. I did not mention, but I will. I hear rumors, and it's not just rumors, it's verified. The mayor himself, Jake Wilson, or as I like to call him, my color guy, my color commentator, Jake Wilson, he will be at that game. Opening day, currently scheduled for April 8th against Lynn Classical. That'll be a 4:15 start at Trum Field currently. So make sure you come out to support the Highlanders at Trum Field. Or, of course, you can check it out here on Somerville Ed TV. Also, don't forget girls lacrosse looking to get back to the playoffs this year after a run of championships. Medford was able to wrest that GBL championship away from the Highlanders girls lacrosse team last year, so they are looking as well to get back that GBL championship that they held for a few years. Coming off a loss against Stoneham at Stoneham, they will be at Haverhill as well this week. Their home opener will be on Tuesday the 7th at 4 o'clock here at Dilboy, and that will be their GBL opener as well, as Everett will be in to face off against the Highlanders here at Dilboy. We'll have coverage of that game here on Somerville Ed TV. That's a 4 o'clock start on Tuesday the 7th of April. And don't forget, we've got softball action as well. Softball action will be coming to you here on Somerville Ed TV as well. Make sure you have liked, shared, subscribed, mash your buttons so that you can make sure you know when we have posted our videos, so you know when we have special live coverage as well. And of course, you can keep track of the Highlanders throughout the season as well as any postseason runs that they may have. I'll tell you right now, that volleyball team, no question the boys volleyball team will be heading to the postseason this year. It is a question of whether they can catch the Maulding Golden Tornadoes to take that GBL championship away from them. Over here on the lacrosse pitch, 12 minutes up on the clock, we're ready for second quarter action as the face-off will happen right at midfield. Marcos Pineda-Perez out there for the Highlanders looking to take this. As Pineda-Perez spins, tries to body off LeBlanc. Gets called for the push-off, so possession will go to LeBlanc and the Knights. LeBlanc with that pinpoint pass to Malachi Pelzar. That's how the Knights are leading 1-0 now. So we are just underway in the second quarter. As LeBlanc now uses his speed to get around the defense, tries that pass across the crease, but could not secure it in the cross was Malachi Pelzar. Ground ball now, everybody chasing after it. Damian Jackson's going to give him a little shoulder bump trying to get to the ball first. Ball right back on the inline there, a couple feet away as it does squeak right across. Last to touch it, Highlanders. So the Knights will maintain their possession. That ball gets into the crease. It's smothered by Zach Gordon. Gordon, one of the two seniors on this team, along with Pasquale Candelino. Talking to head coach Chuck Graham, very nice to have experience in the goal. Gordon, of course, starting goaltender last year as well. That's Shane Doe. Gives up that possession. Now LeBlanc will have it. As LeBlanc able to get by Doe. I said the Highlanders were in a zone to start this game. They have switched over to a bit of a man-to-man, as I'm noticing. They seem to be shadowing specifically Malakar Pelzar a bit, as well as LeBlanc, as LeBlanc gets in, fires that one. And that's swallowed up by Zach Gordon. Highlanders looking to transition now as Giordano has it. Gets that over to Damian Jackson, and Damian is through into the attacking zone. Highlanders now can set up their offense the way they want to, as Doe will bring it out to the top of the slot. Now Doe begins the attack, brings it here near side to Candolino. Candolino brings it back to the X position. X is that area right behind the net. Highlanders like to run their offense from back there. As Candolino loves to camp out back there. Candolino coming out, tries the pass, looking for Pineda Perez, but comes up empty on that one. Strike that. That was actually Matt Costa he was trying to get the ball to. And Hutchinson comes away with it for the Knights. Hutchinson being checked, but he's able to get through it. That one, though, not able to be played cleanly by Drew Ferreira. Highlanders get the possession. 9:20 remaining in the first half. Highlanders down by a goal, 1-0. As Jackson passes that one forward towards Rosas, gets by Colin. Picked up there by Costa. Now Rosas has it, cradling it. Brings it to the near side. Candolino's right down there, just can't release. There's the shot by Candolino, but blocked. Excellent work there between the pipes by Evan Kerr. Candolino could not quite get that shot off as quickly as he wanted to. And now LeBlanc on the attack, trying to find Pelzar. That pass goes wide and out of bounds. Was not touched by a Highlander. Last to touch it were the Knights, so the Highlanders get the possession. Jackson now. Using his speed. Good job by Jackson getting through those checks and into the attacking zone as he transitions. Jackson drops it off to Jacob Medrano. As Medrano. Nice move there as he's got speed into the zone, dropping off to Candolino. Pasquale once again not able to get to that ball into his cross quickly enough to get a great shot off. And he's checked as he tries a shot. It comes out of his cross, and now Jackson Duplessis for the Knights brings it down, gets it to Pelzar. Pelzar looking for a second. Fired towards the net. Zach Gordon, good save there by Zach as he fires it downfield, trying to get it down to Matt Costa. A little too high for Costa. Out of bounds, Knights will get the possession. 7:42 remaining here in the second quarter. Highlanders trailing 1-0 after the goal by Malachi Pelzar. Now Hutchinson with it. Drops that off to Sarah. Sarah breaks into the attacking zone, fighting off the checks. Drops it out wide as Moran has to chase this one down, but he'll get to it before the out of bounds. Giordano marking him. Justin Spadafora Hurley, number 11, out on the pitch. Shot there. Good check by Ben DiCarlo as he was able to make that shot go awry. DiCarlo looking for the ground ball as it's poked away. Picked up by Giordano, but there are the Knights with a big physical play able to knock that ball away. Sarah, though, unable to pick up the ground ball out of bounds. Highlanders will get it. 6:43 remaining in the first half, I should say, second quarter. Rosas brings it to Jackson. Jackson couldn't quite, or actually strike that. That was DiCarlo. Now Jackson comes up to clean it up. And Jackson gets called for the elbow. So he was fending off Pelzar. And they give it down to Pelzar. Pelzar Nice job there by Giordano as he was able to block that pass or shot attempt. I'm not sure what Pelzar's plans were. It's now Moran with it. Gets checked by Giordano. Giordano unable to get the ball before it went out. Gained possession of the ball out of bounds, so the Knights will go ahead and take the possession. Pass looking for the attacker cutting. Gets out of bounds. Highlanders will pick up the possession here. 6:02 remaining in the first half. Jackson beginning the attack for the Highlanders, looking to transition through that neutral area in the middle. Gets it into the attacking zone. And he sees an opening. He's going to go ahead and take it. Try that long cross. Just able to be stopped there by Evan Kerr. As Kerr didn't cleanly get it in the cross, but was able to keep it as the rebound stayed inside that crease. Now Kerr having to deal with being checked there, but was able to get it forward to Moran. As Moran breaks in, drops it off here to the near side to Stringer. Stringer spinning away from DiCarlo. Foul is going to be called. It's going to go against the Highlanders, I believe. As DiCarlo will likely get rung up for that one. Stringer now, top of the slot, drives down and puts that one in past Zach Gordon. As Stringer gets a goal. See how important it is to keep the offensive players out of that area in front of the net. Obviously, that's where you get your best angle of attack on the goalie themselves. Highlanders. Highlanders need to watch that center area and not be removed from it. As LeBlanc not in the face-off circle this time. It's Devin Michael Haleen. So he will face off against Pinedo Perez. Highlanders trailing 2-0. Really need to win this face-off, keep the possession, and put some pressure on this Knights defense. It's Pineda Perez. Good physicality there, bodying off the opponent. And a push-off is going to be the call, I believe, against the Knights. No, it's going to go against the Highlanders. It's the extended elbow out. Gives the possession over to the Knights. Stringer plays it out wide. Gets that to David Serra. Serra down around the horn now. Back out to the top. Top of the slot over to the far side. Serra. Work it all the way around. No rush. They lead 2-0. Moran as well as Pelzar playing catch behind the net there across X. Pelzar back up to the top of the slot. Now Hutchinson into the attack here, gets it to LeBlanc. Back over to Hutchinson as they just work it around the perimeter, trying to find an opening, some cutter to get into the area in front of goal against this zone defense. As LeBlanc got the opportunity, great save there by Zach Gordon. As LeBlanc had a really good angle on that shot, but Gordon shut him right down. It's Giordano trying to get into the attacking zone, loses control of it. Now we have a ground ball situation, and it looks like the Knights will come away with it as Pelzar has it. Gets it out to Moran, and the Knights back into the attack with 3:20 remaining in the half. Moran driving in, tries to put that one past Gordon, but he wasn't able to control it out of the cross. Shot goes out of bounds. Closest to it was the Knights. They maintain the possession. Stringer now. Out top. That's Hutchinson. Back over to Stringer. Winds up and fires, and Gordon able to block that one. Now Moran. Back over to Hutchinson, top of the slot. Hutchinson again, top of the slot, looking for Pelzar. You see the cutters running through that Highlander zone. It's like Joseph Giordano right there in the middle, responsible for trying to keep that area clear now. Shot goes wide. Knights nearest to it when it went out, so Pelzar with the restart. Now LeBlanc, a good opportunity, but he wasn't able to field the ground ball. Highlanders trying to break away, but Leo Fash unable to pick up the ground ball as well, so the Knights maintain their possession. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the half. Highlanders trailing 2-0. Pelzar now with it. Skip pass. Trying to get it to Stringer. Stringer, though, thought about where he was going to shoot that ball before he got it into his cross. And that got by him and out of bounds. Highlanders will get the possession. 1:43 remaining. Timeout's going to be taken on the field. Highlanders want to figure out what they can do here to get some offense against this Knights team, as they've had some good opportunities and some good looks. Evan Kerr, though, has been excellent in the net for the Knights, as Pasquale Candelino has had some opportunities right on the doorstep, but has not been able to get it by the sophomore goalie for the Knights. Timeout on the field, of course, gives me an opportunity to remind everybody to keep mashing the buttons. Don't forget as well, we also have all sorts of fun things that happen here at Somerville Ed TV, especially in the spring. We had our futsal championships. We had the middle school boys and middle school girls futsal championships. That's available on the website, on the YouTube channel right now, as a matter of fact. On top of that, coming up on Thursday, huge fun for everybody is the staff versus student basketball game coming up on Thursday. I'm trying to get some help in terms of the broadcast. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to. It's going to be a lot of fun if I'm able to, though. So you got to check in. You got to find out what that surprise might be. I got to finalize that. Anyway, and that is so much fun. I also want to find out, because I always have a good time every year finding out what chef is cooking up, the head of culinary arts, because he likes getting out on the floor and watching the girls basketball head coach Ricardo Bonhomme out there on the floor is always a blast. So we will have that for you. It's coming up on Thursday. That's when we will tape it. We will post it later on that day or early on Friday. So be ready for some fun as the student staff basketball game for Somerville is coming up. And we're going to have that here for you on Somerville Ed TV. 1:43 remaining here in the first half. Highlanders down by 2-0. Need to generate some good offensive opportunities here, as the Knights have done a very good job to deny the Highlanders on the offensive end. Shane Doe with it, gets it up to DiCarlo. As DiCarlo drops it back to Doe. In the attacking zone, but that's going to be a turnover offsides, as the Highlanders ended up with 7 people in the attacking zone, as DiCarlo did not clear quickly enough. Now the Knights back on the attack. It's Hutchinson with it. He tries to pass it back to the slot, as Sarah was coming into the attack. Goes all the way across midfield. Whistles sound. Highlanders will get the ball. At midfield line, that's basically your out of bounds for the offense. The offensive zone itself begins at the football 30-yard line, but once you establish yourself within that football 30-yard line, you've got those 20 yards to play with up to midfield. As you can see, Shane Doe outside that 30-yard line with the pass. Over to Braden Hart. Hart unable to cleanly field it. Has to battle over on the sideline, out of bounds. It'll be the Highlanders' ball. 38.9 seconds remaining here in the first half. Jacob Medrano will restart things for the Highlanders. Medrano. Soft pass there, stolen away by Sarah. And they're attacking here as they look to get it down towards Malachi Pelzar. But he wasn't able to field it cleanly. Good job there. I think Ben DiCarlo was down there and prevented him from being able to field that ball cleanly in his cross. Now Pelzar gives it to Moran. Moran looking for the cutter there for a moment. Justin Hurley looked like he had that open but wasn't able to get a hold of the pass. Out of bounds, the Highlanders will get it with 14 seconds remaining. They have time for one last rush here. As Medrano will get things going. Nine seconds now as DiCarlo all the way downfield. Costa trying to get to that one. There's Candelino, and he fires and scores with 0.2 seconds remaining on the clock. Pasquale Candelino found a little gift bouncing his way and knew exactly what to do with it as the senior cuts the Knights' lead in half with 0.2 seconds remaining in the half.
Solo goal number 5, Pasquale Candelino.
That will do it for the first half of play as the Highlanders held off the scoreboard until the last 0.2 seconds, and Pasquale Candelino puts it right by Evan Kerr. We've got a 2-1 game going to halftime. We will be back for second half coverage here on Somerville Ed TV. Ready, Bill? We are back at Dilboy Stadium on Somerville Ed TV. Todd Harmon as we check out the boys lacrosse opener against Northeast Metro Knights as the Knights lead this one 2-1. Goal by Malachi Pelzar, as well as the go-ahead goal by Ryan Stringer. Highlanders got their goal at the last 0.2 seconds of that first half as Pasquale Candelino found the back of the Knights' net. Now the Knights will open out with possession here in the second half. As LeBlanc has that, tries a little backhanded shot there, no-look backhanded shot. Went wide of the net to the near side. As the Highlanders, throughout that first half, they found some good opportunities. Candelino had some nice chances in front of the net. Knight goalie Evan Kerr did a fantastic job, though. On the other side for the Highlanders, Zach Gordon, the senior goalie for the Highlanders, has done well also, as he was beaten on some excellent shots. Pelzar's came off of a beautiful pass on the fast break from LeBlanc. Stringer was able to fire one past him as he got some open area right in front of the net. So we have a 2-1 matchup here. Highlanders trailing in their opener, season opener here in 2026, looking to improve on their 7 wins from last season. Looking to get into the postseason this year are the Highlanders. As LeBlanc looks to attack, drops it down low, and you got to be there defensively. The Highlanders weren't. They left Shane Moran right there on the doorstep. Not much you can do. As Moran left wide open for that shot, gets it in behind Zach Gordon. Moran picks up his first goal of the game. 3-1 now. The Knights lead. Important face-offs here. All face-offs very important, of course, but after your opponents have scored, you want to win that face-off. You want to get that ball back so that you can answer that score. It's Marcos Pineda-Perez out there for the Highlanders in the face-off circle. Pineda Perez, nice job there. So he was able to get control for a moment, now picked up by Colin Rosas, and the Highlanders have that possession that they needed. Now Rosas breaking in, could have a numbers advantage as he tries to pass it down low to Matt Costa, but too high, as that did not release well out of his cross. Knights will get the possession here as LeBlanc uses that speed that he has. Gets it up to Hutchinson. Hutchinson. Now Sarah has it. David Sarah. Looks to drop it to the top there. Just poked across. That is legal because Hutchinson did not enter into the zone. Flag down. As the Highlanders will lose Jacob Medrano for at least a minute here. Knights will have the man advantage. Highlanders 2-goal deficit here, trailing 3-1. Now down a man as well for a stretch of time. Sarah now gets it here on the near side. Nice job there by Giordano. Is able to get the cross on that pass attempt. And coming away with it and speed is Colin Rosas, but Rosas unable to maintain control as he gets checked from behind by LeBlanc. Very effective check there by LeBlanc as he was able to knock the ball out of the cross. You can check the player's arms and their cross as well. However, slashing will be called if it's too aggressive or if it's around the head area. As Moran now gets it back at the X position. Gives it off to Pelzar. As they work it around the perimeter. Top of the slot now. Over to David Sarah here on the near side. Trying to get it to the interior. LeBlanc looking for the quick release there. That was blocked by Gordon. Down on his knees, trying to get control of the ball. And I believe a push-off is going to be the call against the Knights. Highlanders will get the possession. Anywhere in that blue circle, the crease area around the goalie, that's his area. His teammates can enter that area, but the opponents cannot. And the goalie can play the ball any way they like. Hands, knees, feet, shoulders, knees and toes, whatever. As Medrano back out on the pitch for the Highlanders. His cross pass did not find who he was looking for. Instead, it winds up in the cross of David Sarah. So Sarah will bring the attack for the Knights. As LeBlanc had a good position on Medrano but wasn't able to handle the pass. Another incidence there of the receiver of the pass thinking about what he would do with the pass before he fully got it into his cross. Highlanders last to touch it. So the Knights have the possession as they bring it down. Now Pelzar has it far side. Brings it back top of the slot. That's LeBlanc. LeBlanc directing traffic, wants the right side open, wants to take his man one-on-one, and he tries as he fires that shot off, but Zach Gordon able to stop it as he deflects it over the net. Closest to it as it went out of bounds, though, were the Knights. They maintain the possession, 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Highlanders trail by 2. Sarah has it, top of the slot, fires that one. That'll come off the post all the way back out to David Sarah, but he was unable to get it into the cross, out of bounds, and the Highlanders will get it. It's Colin Rosas nearest to that one as it went out of bounds. Rosas asked by the ref to return to the correct point to begin. Highlanders will have the possession here as Rosas looks to get around his defender, Drew Ferreira. Rosas looks down low. There's Candolino, and there's his second goal. It's Pasquale Candolino right down in front of the crease. Great pass as well by Rosas, as Colin picks up the assist on that one. And once again, it's a one-goal lead for the Knights as Pasquale Candolino has two in this game. 7:37 remaining in the third quarter.
Somerville goal number 5, Pasquale Candolino. With the assist to number 11, Colin Rosas.
New face-off taker here for the Highlanders. Rolling it out here. Trying to get it up off the ground, but Shane Doe unable to field that ground ball. Now Doe has it. He's on the attack as the Highlanders enter the attacking zone. Braden Hart has it here on the near side. He'll play it back to Candolino at X. Candolino passed out of X, looking for somebody in the slot there, trying to get it to Medrano. Checked away from him. Wes Flores, who took that face-off for the Highlanders, unable to cash in the possession, though, and the Knights will now get it. As Justin Hurley, breaking in with speed, drops it off to the far side. They drop it down to Malachi Pelzar at X, but he's unable to control. Damian Jackson comes away with it for the Highlanders. It's Jackson reverses field. Flag down on the play as Pelzar, I think, might be called for a slash there. I believe Pelzar is going to be charged with the foul. Is going to be 1 minute, I believe, of man advantage for the Highlanders. As Pelzar goes over to the penalty box. So 1 minute of penalty time for the slash. Good job by Damian Jackson to pick up that penalty. So the Highlanders will begin possession just outside of the offensive zone, ready to rock and roll. 6:54 remaining here in the third quarter, trailing by a goal. Pasquale Candolino has found the back of the net twice already today. As the senior, one goal away from the hat trick. Rosas brings it in for the attack. Here near side to Medrano. Candolino back out to the top of the slot. That's Rosas. He takes the shot. Goes wide of the net. Candolino, though, in position to secure the possession for the Highlanders. Nearest to the ball when it went out of bounds. Now, Pasquale with it. Coming out from X. Thinks about a pass instead. He spins. Fakes the shot, fires it again, and there's Pasquale Candolino with the hat trick. As the senior gets the hattie in the opener, and we are tied at 3s. Nice job there by Candolino as he faked the shot, was able to get a better position in between the football hash marks, and fired that one off, getting it right by Evan Kerr on the far side. So the Highlanders have tied this one up, and we're back into the face-off circle where Marcos Pineda-Perez can give the Highlanders the possession to possibly take the lead. Jackson Duplessis in the face-off circle, or actually strike that, Devin Hylane in the face-off circle for the Knights. Pineda-Perez trying to battle for that ground ball. Highlanders come away with it as Shane Doe drops it looking for Candolino, but it bounces off of the far post. And the Knights able to pick it up. Heline comes out into the neutral area, trying to transition to offense. A foul's going to be called. I think Candelino's going to get whistled for that one. Actually, 2 Highlanders might be in the penalty box on this one. As I see Medrano over there. I believe Ben DiCarlo also in the box. Or strike that, Shane Doe in the box. So the Highlanders down 2 now. 5 defenders in the defensive end, plus the goalie. Shane Moran with it. He tries to pass it out to the top of the slot, gets out of the attacking zone, and now Candelino is in for the Highlanders on the attack. Loses his footing there. Flag is going to come down, as I believe they're going to get Dylan Hovermail with the trip, and they do. So Hovermail will go over to the box. Medrano out of the box for the Highlanders. Teams will be at equal strength because both teams have a man in the box. Hovermail for the Knights, Doe for the Highlanders. Colin Rosas, top of the slot, looking for a shot, fires it, goes wide to the near side. Candelino again in position to maintain the possession for the Highlanders. 5:28 remaining in the third quarter, knotted up at 3s. Pasquale will begin it from X. Now Medrano. So Highlanders now have the man advantage. Doe is out of the penalty box. Over to Costa on the far side with the skip pass. Costa back to Doe. So Highlanders working against this packed-in zone. Opportunity here for Rosas as he fires that one and goes wide. Highlanders keep the possession. Candelino with the restart. 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Candelino, 3 goals in this game. Drops it to Doe. Doe fires that one. Knocked wide by Evan Kerr. Highlanders keeping that possession, though. They have that player back in the X. That's Pasquale. As Matt Costa tries the tough angle shot there through the crease. Gets through. I believe the Knights did deflect it, though, so the Highlanders maintain the possession. Pasquale has it now. Candelino trying to fire that one. Didn't get the angle he wanted on the shot. Costa, though, closest to it as it went out, so Highlanders maintain the possession. 4:35 remaining in the third quarter. Costa to Doe. Doe now loses the ball for a moment due to the check, but he's able to pick it up. Now Shane looks here near side, trying to find Braden Hart, but gets blocked by LeBlanc. LeBlanc now has a transition opportunity as he loses the cross out of the back there. Medrano gets dispossessed by LeBlanc as he's knocked off the ball, but there's Damian Jackson. As Damian into the attacking zone, loses it out of the back of the cross right as he obtained the zone, has to pick it back up and get it over to Braden Hart. Hart has it now here on the near side. Hart breaking in, looking for the shot, bodies off his defender, but LeBlanc able to take it away. Now LeBlanc transitioning into the attacking zone. Medrano manning him up. LeBlanc, goal line extended, tries to get it over. A little one-touch shot there as LeBlanc tried to team up with Stringer. Highlander goalie Zach Gordon able to stop that one now. Highlanders get the possession after it goes out of bounds. Now looking to get the offense going is Jackson. Whistle sound, and The Knights will get the ball back as Jackson called for fending off with his arm. You cannot fend off the defender, pushing them off with your off arm as you are holding the cross with the other hand. Pass as they were looking to hook up with Shane Moran. Here on the near side goes out of bounds. Highlanders have it. Rosas now. Look at the speed there from Rosas as he breaks into the attacking zone. Once he obtains it, he'll pull it back out. Highlanders will set the offense. Rosas spins. He's got Costa in front of the net. Candelino now coming out from X. Switching out with Medrano. Pasquale with 3 goals, got the hat trick today. Gives that off to Rosas. And the infraction called against the Highlanders. Did not see the signal on that one. Turnover goes over to the Knights. Nice check there as Candelino able to get the ball away from Hurley. He'll break into the attack. Two minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter, tied up at 3. Candelino, number 5 for the Highlanders, has all 3 Highlander goals. Shane Doe, number 8, he is out front of the net. Braden Hart back at X right now. It's Candelino working from the top of the slot. Turns the corner, fires tough angle shot. Goes across the goal mouth out of bounds, but Hart back there will get it and maintain the possession for the Highlanders. Hart with the restart, minute 45 remaining. Hart defended by Colgan Raymond. Gets it out of X, over to Matt Costa. Costa back to the top of the slot. Colin Rosas, he's got an assist today. Breaks in, looks to drop that to Shane Doe, but didn't quite get it to him. Hart comes out from behind X and takes the ball. Now Hart, top of the slot, fires it. Wide to the far side, Costa closest. Highlanders keep the possession, minute 10 remaining. Doe now. Goal line extended far side, gets it to the top of the slot. There's Rosas, he'll try the shot. Gets partially blocked as it came out of his cross. And now bouncing around, ground ball just outside the crease. Able to pick it up is the Knight goalie, Evan Kerr. He'll send it downfield, but that's going to be fielded by Ben DiCarlo for the Highlanders. He had it for a moment, but lost it due to the check. Highlanders will get the ball on the push-off by the Knights. It's Rosas. Needs to get that 30-yard line, and he does. Tries Candelino. LeBlanc was there, though. And Candelino last to touch it, so the Knights will get it. 26 seconds remaining here. Time for the Knights to make a good run here, especially with the speed that LeBlanc has. It's Drew LeBlanc bringing it up, drops it off to David Serra. Serra now. Good checking there by Giordano, turning Serra away from any opportunity of shooting. 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Trying that pass out from X. Good job by Ben DiCarlo as he got the cross up to block it. Whistles sound. Quarter is over. Highlanders have tied it 3-3. 2 goals in that quarter by Pasquale Candelino. As we are heading to the fourth quarter, tied up at 3s. Highlanders versus the Knight. Highlanders looking to start off their season with a victory, looking to improve upon their 7 wins from last year. Would love to get into the playoffs this year as they have a young team, juniors, a core of juniors on this team. You know, you can see Ben DiCarlo out there, Shane Doe as well, Damian Jackson, Colin Rosas, all juniors on this team doing an excellent job. 2 seniors on the team, Zach Gordon in between the pipes Pasquale Candelino. Those are your two seniors, and they are definitely showing their abilities and skills out there as senior leaders. As Candelino with those 3 goals, as well as Zach Gordon making some very nice stops on some tough shots. Don't forget, we've got coverage all over the place here on Somerville Ed TV. We've got volleyball, we've got baseball, we've got boys and girls lacrosse, as well as softball coming up here in the spring season, as we are looking for playoffs all over the place. Some GBL championships, hopefully, as well. As the volleyball team off to a great start, 2-0 start with a 5-set victory at Cambridge. Went into the Falcons' nest and took it from them in 5 sets. Then a sweeping victory against the Red Devils of Chelsea, 3-0. They will face off against Waltham Weston at 5:30 April 1st. That will be at Brune Fieldhouse. We'll have coverage of that game here on Somerville Ed TV. Baseball Diamond opening game coming up in about a week. Home opener right now scheduled for April 8th. That will be against Lynn Classical. Always a tough matchup for the Highlanders. Highlanders coming off a rebuilding year. See what head coach O'Donnell has up his sleeve. He has one of the best players in the GBL. That's Preston Ardolino, their junior shortstop / pitcher. As Ardolino, one of the best offensive players, as well as pitchers, as well as defensive players. He's worth the price of admission just alone, but he's also got a good team around him. He and Colin Bourne, Tommy Griffin, Owen Jones, those are your seniors. Bourne, Griffin, Jones. We'll see what they are cooking up on the baseball diamond. The 1-2 punch of Ardolino and Bourne on the mound will make the Highlanders difficult to contend with, though. And, of course, as you see boys lacrosse, we also have girls lacrosse coming up. Our opener will be April 7th, Tuesday, April 7th. That's their GBL and home opener. That will be 4 o'clock here at Dilboy Stadium against the Everett Crimson Tide. We'll have coverage of that game here on Somerville Ed TV. Mash your buttons, like, share, subscribe. Get those notifications so you know when we've posted our videos and when we have special live coverage as we get underway here in the 4th quarter. Tied up 3-3. Face-off battled for there. Rosas trying to get to it. However, coming away with it is going to be Aiden Exum for the Knights. Highlanders steal it right away, though, as Shane Doe gets it, bringing it in. Tried to lead Matt Costa just a little bit too much on that pass. As Medrano tried to play like it was a shot, but the ref saw through that and knew that that was a pass attempt. Highlanders trailed at the half, 2-1, after a goal literally within the last second of the first half by Pasquale Candelino. Then they led 3-1 after a goal by Shane Moran in that 3rd quarter, but then Candelino put 2 home for the Highlanders. There's Moran as he was trying to get back towards the net. Wasn't quite able to get that shot off, checked from behind. Now they get it back to X. That's Malachi Pelzar. He scored the first goal for the Knights. Over here near side to Ryan Stringer. He scored the second goal for the Knights. LeBlanc, he has it now at the top of the slot. Working against Doe. Fires the shot, and Drew LeBlanc adds a goal to go along with his assist earlier today as he sped to his right, fired that one, bounced it off the field turf right past Highlander goaltender Zach Gordon. And the Knights lead once again 4-3 now as they've retaken the lead early here in the 4th quarter. 11:04 remaining in the game.
Knights goal, number 2, Drew LeBlanc.
Big time face off here. Pineda Perez in the circle for the Highlanders. He's done a nice job so far today working against Heline. And the Highlanders come away with it. Shane Doe into the attacking zone. Establishes himself inside that football 30-yard line, pulling it back out. Highlanders set up their offense. As LeBlanc defending Doe. Doe, the lefty, fires that one. Nice save there. As Evan Kerr sweeping that big cross knee high, able to get that ball. Good scoop there by Justin Hurley as he gets into the attacking zone. There's Pelzar with it. Didn't get it cleanly into the cross, so he wasn't able to fire off a shot. Now LeBlanc with it. LeBlanc, he'll fire it. That goes wide. Possession going to the Highlanders. Giordano will get the restart here. Gets it over to Damian Jackson. Jackson, he's your transition guy. Draws the defense to him, splits him, uses his speed through. A little screen there as well from Doe, but loses the ball out of the cross as Doe trying to go for the ground ball. Picked up once again by Jackson. Jackson's got to get to that 30-yard line, and he's able to. So he's obtained the zone. Highlanders can now set their offense. As Jackson dealing with Nico Frandudo right in front of him. Passes it off to Doe. Doe will start the offense for the Highlanders. 9:30 remaining in the game. Highlanders down by a goal. As Doe breaks in, he's alone. Fires it, looking for the worm burner there, but fired it wide of the net. Costa back at X. Maintains the possession for the Highlanders. Gives it out to Candelino here on the near wing. Candelino using speed. Gets back to the X position, working against Kalen Brennan. Drops it off. That's Braden Hart with it. Far side wing, back to Candelino. Highlanders have yet to lead in this game. They've been tied at 3 until the goal by LeBlanc here in the fourth quarter. Now Rosas. Top of the slot, he'll pull it back as Brennan was on him tightly. Or actually, Frandudo was on him tightly. Shane Doe, he's in, fires, and Shane Doe bounces it home. Great to see Shane Doe back out on the lacrosse field. Talking to head coach Chuck Graham before this game, he was very clear. First thing out of his mouth, great to have Shane back. You can see how valuable he is. Saw that opportunity, given a little bit of space there in the slot area. Filled up that space, fired a nice bouncer right by goalie Evan Kerr. The Highlanders have tied this up 4-4, 8:19 remaining in the game. Big face-off here. It's again Marcos Pineda-Perez out there taking the face-off for the Highlanders. Working against Heline, and he's able to body him off and get the ground ball. That's how you do it, and the Highlanders have the possession. They could take the lead. Although LeBlanc checks it away from him. Ball up in the air, and LeBlanc will pick up the ground ball, but can't keep hold of it cleanly. Now Heline, as he gets bodied off by Rosas, foul called. Possession will go over to the Knights. So LeBlanc now. He obtains the offensive zone. Rosas has him defensively. Gives him off to Medrano. It's now Medrano. What a shot there as Matthew Hutchinson from way outside the edge of the offensive zone fired just a bullet about shin high, far side, able to get that one by Zach Gordon as Matt Hutchinson gets himself into the scorer's book.
Knights goal, number 32, Matthew Hutchinson.
So the Highlanders again tie this one up. Knights again able to extend. I think Cash Hardy out there taking this face-off for the Highlanders. Yep, that is Cash Hardy. And, oh, Hardy misses the ground ball. Couldn't quite get the pickup there. However, he wasn't able to get to it because of the push-off that was just called, so the Highlanders get the possession as Rosas obtains the zone. Rosas over to the far side, gives it to Braden Hart. Hart, top of the slot. Reverses field, cuts into the middle. Bouncing ball there, but Cash able to get it. Cash then loses his footing. Brought down to the turf. Flag is down as well. Play will not stop yet. Highlanders have not lost possession. Very similar to a delayed penalty in hockey. Play continues. As Rosas breaking in. Got the opportunity, and he'll put it home as Colin Rosas will even this one up. 5-5. Rosas will get a goal to go along with his earlier assist. 6:50 remaining in the game, tied up 5-5 as the Highlanders will not go away.
Somerville goal number 11, Colin Rosas.
Goal scorers for the Highlanders, Candelino with the Hattie, Shane Doe with a goal, and now Colin Rosas with the goal as well. See who's taking this face-off. It's going to be Wes Flores taking the face-off for the Highlanders, matching up against Devin Heline. That penalty, by the way, called on Nico Frandudo. So Frandudo is in the penalty box. The Highlanders will have a man advantage if they can win this face-off. They can attack with that man advantage. There's Flores. Battling there. I think Flores might get called for the trip, and he does. So LeBlanc with it now for the Knights as he enters the attacking zone. Rosas on him very, very tightly. Shane Doe makes a pass at him. LeBlanc, lots of speed there. He'll turn it back, though, as Rosas all over him. LeBlanc drops it off to Shane Moran, who will play it from X. Moran. Nice job there. I believe that was DiCarlo. Ben DiCarlo was able to stop that offensive opportunity as the pass came out from X, and DiCarlo was able to knock this shot attempt away. Now Doe brought it into the attacking zone, dropped it off with Flores, got by him, but the Highlanders cleaned it up with Braden Hart. Now Candelino has it out, far side wing, less than 6 minutes remaining in the game. Highlanders looking for their first lead as Rosas looks for the shot, and the Highlanders have the lead. As Rosas picks up his second, top shelf, near side.
For 11, Colin Rosas.
Highlanders have battled all day today. No lead until now as they fought back from a 2-goal deficit earlier in this game, trailing 3-1 earlier in this half. Now they have fought back, leading 6-5, their first lead of the game with 5:51 remaining in the game. Highlanders looking to pick up the win here, out of conference game. Looking to improve on that 7 wins from last year. Of course, as you know, 9 or 10 wins. I believe it'll be 9. They have an 18-game season, so 9 wins will get the Highlanders into the postseason. As the flag is thrown, that's going to go against the Highlanders, I believe. As Devin Heline was taken down to the turf. 2 flags down, both refs threw flags. So they'll have a discussion at midfield about what the outcome will be. 5:51 will be the amount of time remaining when play begins again. While they're having that conversation midfield, I want to remind everybody all the great things we have coming up here in the spring. We've got the student staff basketball game. We'll have that posted for you by the end of Thursday or on Friday, so you can have a little bit of fun watching that one coming up, as well as the middle school futsal championships, both boys and girls, as we've already had that and posted those games. You can check those out on our YouTube channel on Somerville Ed TV. Make sure you mash your buttons, like, share, subscribe. Sign up for those notifications. We're working towards 4,000 subscriptions, and we really, really do appreciate it. Play begins again as Cash Hardy finds himself over in the penalty box. The Knights have the man advantage, trailing by a goal now. Shot there, blocked. Rosas was able to block that one. Stringer has it. Over to LeBlanc. LeBlanc's shot goes wide to the near side. Damian Jackson was closing out on him. Forced that shot a little bit wide. Keep an eye on LeBlanc. He's an excellent player, number 2. Hutchinson trying the shot there. He has a long distance goal from earlier this half. That one goes wide of the net, out of bounds. Knights closest to it when it went out, as Pelzar will get the restart. Tight pass there is coming out of X. The pass from Moran found Sarah, but David Sarah's shot went wide of the net. Now Moran will bring it up with the restart. 5 minutes remaining in the game. Highlanders with the 1-goal lead. Top of the slot. So get it over to Sarah. He loses it out at the cross. Hutchinson's going to chase that one down. Giordano keeping his defensive position. Highlanders down a man, so they want to pack in this zone, force any shots from tough angles as well as from as far outside as possible. It's Pelzar gets it out. Shot there, and that was from far out, and it got the best of Zach Gordon. As Ryan Stringer finds the back of the net, his 2nd goal of the match. We are tied at 6 with 4:26 remaining. As Stringer fired that one up high, was able to get by Zach Gordon. Huge face-off here. As Wes Flores in to take it for the Highlanders. Heline looks like he's got it for a moment. Flores comes up behind him. Ground ball being battled for. And we'll see Rosas looking to get his cross onto it. Highline and Rosas. Rosas scooping it around. LeBlanc now will get it. He'll spin away. And the Knights have the possession, but we have a timeout taken by the Knights once they got possession of that ball. 4:23 remaining here in the game, tied up 6-6. We've got a heck of a finish coming here. Last 4 minutes, 23 seconds, a tight one here at Doughboy. We're going to have lots of tight games this season. Make sure you keep your eyes here on Somerville Ed TV. We're going to have girls lacrosse coming up. Don't forget that girls lacrosse team. That program won the GBL a couple years in a row, lost that GBL championship to Medford last year. So they would like to get on top of the GBL table once again. Would that girls lacrosse team will have their first game coming up Tuesday, April 7th. That's their first home game. They are 0-1 on the season, taking a loss at Stoneham yesterday. However, they will have their home opener here against Everett. That's also their GBL opener. That will be Tuesday, April 7th at 4 o'clock here at Doughboy Stadium. We'll have coverage of that game here on Somerville Ed TV. Don't forget as well, we've got baseball coming up. Season opener against Lynn Classical. Rumor has it the mayor of Somerville, Jake Wilson, will be in attendance whenever the home opener does occur, and he will be throwing out the first pitch. So an opportunity to check out not only the Highlander baseball team and what head coach O'Donnell has planned for the season, a great player in Preston Ardolino as well. You'll also get the opportunity to see whether Mayor Jake Wilson has a good arm. We know he's got good feet. The man's a soccer player from way back, but I don't know about the arm. I hope he's working on it, because I'm certainly going to remind him if he's not able to get it across home plate. But that's neither here nor there. Come on out and see whether Mayor Jake Wilson can get his opening pitch past home plate. That's another fun thing to think about. On top of that, we, of course, have volleyball coming up. We've got a big matchup against Division I Waltham Weston as the Highlanders have begun the season phenomenally 2-0, a big, huge win over Cambridge. Cambridge ranked number 18 in the Globe, top 20, the Boston Globe top 20. Highlanders ranked number 17 because they went into the Falcons' nest and they took the Cambridge Falcons down to open out the season in a 5-setter. So a great job by that volleyball team. Ozzie, Marks, Eli Torlentes, Julian Chetty, Evans, Bienemy. Those are your seniors on that team, and they are set up for a heck of a run this year. We are back underway here on the lacrosse field, tied up 6-6 as Stringer has it here on the near wing, working with LeBlanc. They get it down to Pelzar as he will have it coming out of X. Drops it to Hutchinson. DeCarlo thought he might have had a steal there, wasn't able to get it. LeBlanc now, top of the slot. As Rosas will come out to mark him. The man advantage now over. Medrano was in the box, and he comes in and checks the ball away. Unfortunately for the Highlanders, Rosas unable to get control of that ball. A shot there goes across the crease, winds up with Pelzar, but he's having difficulty getting control as DeCarlo is bumping him all over the place and checking him consistently. Pelzar finally able to get the control, gets it out to Stringer. Over to LeBlanc at the top of the slot. Down low, nice pass there, spinning shot put towards the Highlander net by Moran, but it goes wide. Hutchinson will get the restart behind the net. 3:10 remaining in the game, tied up 6-6. Hutchinson had Sarah cutting there, chose not to pass it to him over to the weak side. Now we have LeBlanc top of the slot, gives it back to Hutchinson. Hutchinson with a long distance goal earlier this half. Got to keep an eye on him even from outside as DeCarlo manning him closely. And we're going to go Highlander ball is what we're going to say. Referees talking to one another across the field. Timeout. I believe we have a timeout, but the Highlanders will have possession after the timeout as Ben DeCarlo did a great job forcing Hutchinson into the turnover. So 2:46 remains in the game, tied up 6-6. Highlanders will have the possession. They've been excellent here in the second half, scoring 5 of their 6 goals here in the second half. Pasquale Candelino, 3 goals, hat trick on the game. Shane Doe, 1 goal. Colin Rosas with 2 goals, as well as assisting on one of the goals tonight as well. So the Highlanders have that offensive possibility across the field with 2:46 remaining. See what head coach Chuck Graham wants to scheme up over there. Highlanders have trailed by as much as 2 today. They trailed 3-1 as well as 4-2. However, the Highlanders have been able to battle back. Took the lead momentarily 6-5. Big goal by Ryan Stringer, number 8 for the Knights, was able to equalize it though. So the Highlanders have the ball in their cross with 2:46 remaining. They will have the opportunity to retake the lead here with the possession after a really good defensive play there by Ben DeCarlo as he was able to force the turnover by Matt Hutchinson. Highlanders finished last year 7-11. 2 wins shy of the playoffs. And this is the type of win, this is the type of game that they struggled to win last year, the out-of-conference games. They had a difficult time with close games as well. So an opportunity here for the Highlanders to pick up a win. The Knights would fall to 0-3 on the season, so you know they are looking for it. They do not. The possession will be the Knights' possession. I felt that Hutchinson maybe had lost possession, but LeBlanc, goodness gracious. Drew LeBlanc gets his second goal of the game. As again, just like his first goal, sliding to his right and just fired that one, a bouncer that Zach Gordon couldn't quite get to. 2:32 remaining now.
Number 2, Drew LeBlanc.
So now the Highlanders trail by a goal. This faceoff hugely important as Marcos Pineda-Perez back out to take the faceoff. He has been good in the faceoff circle today. He'll face off against Devin Heline. There you go, Pineda-Perez. You see the strength there, using his body to get possession there. Then he obtains the offensive zone. Now he's going to break in looking for the attack, but just couldn't quite keep the ball in the cross to do it. But Candelino there to pick it up and clean it up. 2:15 remaining. Highlanders trail by a goal. Candelino's already got 3 of them as he comes around from X, circles, fires. That comes off the post. Foul called against the Highlanders, though. Possession will go over to the Knights. Breaking in, quick shot there. And Shane Moran from the pass from LeBlanc tried to redirect that one into the net just wide to the near side. Minute 53 remaining. Highlanders need to get the ball and get possession. Sarah has it now. And they're going to get the possession. There's an off-ball foul there, infraction there called. As Rosas comes up lame. Looks like he's cramping up there, maybe the right leg, maybe the left leg. But that's a tough loss there for the Highlanders as Rosas' left leg looks like it's cramping up there. Highlander assistant trainer Lindsey Buffington out there checking him out. As Rosas down with the cramp, it looks like on the left leg. Play stopped here, minute 39 remaining. Highlanders should have the possession, I believe, when we return to play. Rosas, such an incredibly important player on this team. Plays at the top of the offense, basically distributes at the top of the offense. Has 2 goals and an assist in this game. So I definitely want him for this final minute 39 stretch. Rosas will hop his way off. Don't know whether he's going to be able to get back out there in this last minute 39, so the Highlanders will likely be without Colin for this offensive charge, trailing by a goal. They need to score here in this last minute 39 of possession. As they have it, they'll have to get through the neutral area into the attacking zone. As Jackson tries to pass that one up, he had to pass out of it. He couldn't run out of it because of the stoppage due to an injury. As the Highlanders have obtained the zone, Braden Hart brings it into the attacking zone, drops it back. Shane Doe. Doe fires that one. Looking high on the far side. Goes wide of the net. Highlanders keep the possession as Candelino will restart from X. Minute 20 remaining. Candelino now. Searching for options, coming out of that X position, but loses the ball for a moment. Has it back. He'll switch with Costa. Now Doe. Minute remaining in the game. Highlanders need a goal to equalize. Medrano with it. Gets it back to Doe at the top of the slot. There's LeBlanc manning him. Gets it back out to Medrano. Medrano looking to get around his defender, looking for a cutter or somebody on the interior. Costa not able to control that pass as it came through. There's Doe to pick it up. 39 seconds remaining. Doe blocked off by a wall of Knights. Looking again is Doe. As he fires that one, it's going to go wide to the near side. Highlanders keep possession. Costa was closest. 29.5 seconds remaining in the game. Highlanders need a goal here as Candelino will get the restart from X. Brings it out, far side wing. Now top of the slot. Candelino looking for the shot. Oh, going wide. And that will belong to the Knights, as goalie Evan Kerr turned the corner quickly and was able to beat Matt Costa to be closest to the ball. So 20 seconds remaining. Highlanders need to stop LeBlanc. They've had a hard time doing that. He's got such speed. As he gets by Medrano, 10 seconds remaining, he gets into the attacking zone. As Giordano comes out and bodies with him. Highlanders will get the possession on the turnover. Long pass down by Jackson. Picked out of the air. Excellent job by Hovermail. And that will do it as the Northeast Metro Knights earn their first win of the season. They will move to 1-2 on the season. Highlanders 0-1 as they open with this tough loss, 6-7 to the Knights. Highlanders were leading 6-5 with just under 5 minutes remaining in this game, but we're not able to hold on to that lead as Drew LeBlanc and Ryan Stringer both put goals in for the Knights to tie and take the lead as LeBlanc comes away with the game-winning goal. He had 2 goals and assists in the game. 2 goals for Ryan Stringer, 1 goal for Matt Hutchinson, 1 goal for Malachi Pelzar. Over on the Highlander side of the ledger, hat trick for Pasquale Candelino. Shane Doe had 1 goal, 2 goals, and an assist for Colin Rosas. So that will do it for us here from Dilboy Stadium as the Highlanders begin their 2026 campaign with a tough loss to the Knights. They will next be opening up, I believe, their GBL schedule very, very soon. As I double check my schedule, they will be opening up their GBL schedule here at home against Revere. That's their next game here at Dilboy. They will go to Lowell on Thursday, then be back here at Dilboy against Revere on Monday the 6th at 4 p.m. So you can come out and support this team at 4 o'clock on Monday as they hope open their GBL schedule against Revere. Heartbreaker today for the Highlanders, though, as they lose the lead in the last 5 minutes and lose the game by the score of 7-6 as the Northeast Metro Knights go home victors, moving their record to 1-2. Highlanders 0-1 to open out the season. Thank you so much for watching at home. We really, really do appreciate it. Thank you very much, Bill Trudell. He's our videographer on the camera. Our director today, Ben Martin. My name is Todd Harmon, and you have been watching Somerville Highlander Boys Lacrosse on Somerville Ed TV.